I don't know if you can hear me, but we'll be going live in just a moment. It's kind of a test. Hello. Sorry about that. Starting like a second or two late. Probably didn't even notice. Hopefully didn't even notice. But I turned and I was looking at my drawing pad and I realized my hair looked absolutely insane. So put on a hat. So the hat that I bought off Amazon recently. I've very recently become a hat person. So have hats. I actually just put up a new hat rack in my room so that I can, or my bedroom, so that I can be hatted, have hats to wear whenever. That probably sounded terrible. Super sorry about slurping in the mic. Every time I do these art streams, for me, I live on the West Coast. It's very late, so my voice is like gone. And then I do the art streams, and it makes it like worse. And so by the time I go to bed, my voice is completely gone. So that's why. But thank you for joining us. Today we're gonna be doing some arting. I've got my tablet ready here. I've got, as you can see, this is some of the art stuff that we did last time. We got in a big Pokemon mood as I was finishing up some commission stuff. We did this guy here, which I believe is called Comodon. I don't quite remember. And Purin. And on this one, if you recall, we actually did two different versions of the color because I could not decide. The concept was to make it feel like a Persian cat and having the color scheme that kind of goes along with that. Hey, what's going on, Little Creek? Where are the snacks? I'm the snacks. Feast of my flesh. But I'm going to draw some stuff and see what kind of group that we get tonight. I was asked earlier, are you having fun on the streams? And I had to pause for a moment because I was like, I am? Question mark? Hey, what's going on, Quill? It took a moment for those to come up. I thought you sent nothing, and I was like, how'd you do that? But yeah, I'm wearing a hat because my hair was a nightmare. Is there lag? Am I being choppy on the thingy? Or are you just noticing it with the what's it called? The emojis. I'm hoping I'm not choppy. Usually that does tend to sort itself out. It's hard because I would actually have to open up my... I have to watch myself streaming to notice. So let's see. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. Better now. Yeah, as soon as I check it on Twitch, it's better. Tends to be the case. But let's get started arting. I need some concepts. I need some ideas because I don't know what to draw. I mean, you leave me to my own devices, and I draw the most horrifying things imaginable. Like whatever that is. Why am I on 1 or 3? 5? Yes, but I am at 50% opacity on pen. I think I have caps lock on. That'll do it. But yeah, I'm interested in drawing. So let's draw some. I'll scream with my awful hag voice for everyone to hear next time it lags. A dragonborn hugging a kobold. Oh yes, that was a request that we got. If I can get to the right freaking pen. A hug is one of the hardest poses to draw. It's one that I don't have a ton of experience with because my father never hugged me. So I have to figure out. Weird request. What do you got? As I start on our kobold hug. The thing about a hug is, like, your body actually takes this weird position where your shoulders come forward. So I gotta make sure I get that. I actually got a, my car has been in the shop, and I got a troublesome video today. First off, I got a text from the mechanic that I have. I go to a regular mechanic, so we talk. Okay, how about instead of hugging, it's Bragg putting his forehead against Thorix? Who are these people? These are people from my D&D group. I can try. Here's what I'm gonna do for you, Quill. For the sake of speed, I'm gonna do that. Them putting their heads together. But I do want to get that hug drawn because it feels like a powerful image. Just random names. Make it Thoric hugging off his leg. That's not a hug, friend. For those of you uninitiated, I play D&D with my group every other Saturday, and these are some of the characters in the campaign that I'm currently running. I will have to be reminded what he looks like. So in case you hear those names, these are my friends from my D&D group, and yeah. So what if I do both? Yeah, Little Creek recently became a god. Still trying to figure out if they want to keep her or not. I'm actually not going to start on that hand because that's going to be a rough one. We had a big emotional moment last session. Yeah, it was kind of it's kind of the campaign coming itself to a close. And so we're kind of getting like a lot of character arcs and characters realizing like who they are, who they want to be, all that cool stuff is coming to a head. That is quite a thick neck for for a kobold, and he's actually going to be a little bit more laxed, so his arms and shoulders are not going to be quite as hunched. I'm drawing him there. He's going to be a lot skinnier than that. Take the whole thing and rotate just a bit down, because this is a taller character. Forehead to forehead with a smaller character. Lysis, he took away my moment. I'm sorry. I feel so bad. Because I truly did set up a... It's a mess up on my end. I gave Lysis' character a... excuse me. A sword called the Sword of Sacrifice. And then I told all the characters... I wasn't even thinking about this. I told the characters, like, take advantage of everything that you have and all of the items that you have. I told them this prior to the game starting. I said, just remember, you've acquired a lot of things. Remember them. And keep track of them, because this will be important for your survival. You got your tablet situation sorted out? Kind of. I've decided that yes, I am going to get a new tablet. I kind of have to. I do so much drawing live that I can't afford to sit there and be like, hey everyone, sorry, give me like 2 seconds to get my thing. Like, I can't do that. So I was like, if I'm going to be streaming my art stuff, then I need to have a reliable tablet. And so this is not the new tablet, but I have decided I do need a new tablet, you know? I enjoy doing art stuff on stream, and whereas when it's just me and the tablet spurts out and it's like, oh, we're not going to work for 2-3 minutes. For me alone, that's fine. That's okay. But when you guys are watching, I feel like it interrupts a flow. So I've decided to do that. Loving this already, almost exactly how I pictured it in my head. That's because I'm in your head. It's Dusty. It's one of the best investments you can, one of the best investments you can make. I agree. I have to. Here's my thing though, Stellar, is I say this to you because I know that you understand the struggle. I have a Huion tablet. Great tablet. It served me well for a long time. It kind of shorting out. I don't hold against Huion in any way. But these arms are crazy long. But my struggle is this, is that the tablet that I found that I really like is just, it's a different brand. And so it's something that I'm not used to. And I worry what that's gonna, not my ruler, what that's gonna change or affect for me. So the one that I want, the one that kind of gives me everything that I need, is not the one that I'm used to. And for me, that causes a little bit of unease. But I mean, what can you do? It provides me exactly what I need. It provides me it just gives me everything that I require in what I'm doing. So yeah, I've decided to get a new tablet. It's just the premise that I'm taking on some hitherto unventured territory. Other issue is I just bought this computer too, and so I could very well just say like, oh, you know, if I hadn't bought a new computer recently, I could just say, oh, if I need reference for this character, I could very easily just look at the file that I did for the art of our characters. That file's on a different computer completely. So, Quill, you'll have to let me know if there's anything that I do that's like, that's not correct with the character. Those eyes feel a little high, but I'm doing non-human anatomy. So I have to pretend. It may sound cheesy, but the same way Japanese samurai swords would be an extension of them, the same goes for an artist's pen. Yeah, and currently my pen shorts out on me quite a bit. You wanna know what an insurmountable task it is to move a file from one computer to another? Gosh, man. Here's the other thing. Here's the thing with the moving of the files with that, because I know it's an in-joke about it, that I can't move, like, I do coding and I do very big and important work requiring computers, but I can't move a freaking file. I have such a hard time figuring out how files work on computers, what's important, what's not. And my tablet being an extension of my arm, which I completely agree with. I think as an artist, it very much is. Your tablet is your weapon, your power. I need to figure it out. But the thing is this, I have two PCs right now. One below my desk, not below as in below, but below as in locked behind my desk. Inaccessible unless I move the entirety of the desk. And you can't see it here because I block a lot of stuff out. My desk is 6 feet. It's a 6 foot by 6 foot L. So it's huge. It's massive. And to access, like, oh, just plug in a memory stick to the old computer, terrible task. So much to do in that regard. So I'm currently trying to figure out, like, how can I get a lot of my important files, including that document, to this PC, the one that I'm currently on, which is my personal PC, from my other PC, which has become my work PC, to here from there. Yes. Without using a memory stick. And there's so many that to email them is not an answer, not a solution. Got one of them USB extenders? I do, but I just need to bite the bullet. The answer is I need to bite the bullet, grab my USB extender, move it from the PC that's behind my desk up so that I can access both. Because I have a USB extender connected right here that connects all of my stream stuff, my camera, etc. I can use Google Drive. Here's my thing with utilizing Google Drive for that is, gosh, how do I put this? I don't know how Google Drive works. It's a cloud. I don't know how clouds work. I know that they're made when God cries, but I don't know how they work. I don't know how accessible they are, and I have a lot of shared. You may know where I'm going with this. I have a lot of shared folders that other people have access to in there. I don't know how to tell what is shared with everybody and what is only visible to me. So I worry about some of the files that I would be trying to transfer to myself and them being visible to a lot of people. If you catch my drift. So that's my thing is it all comes down to I don't know how computers work. And any particular reason why such files might be sensitive? Because of famous family recipes, I'm sure. You can call them that. I don't want people knowing my moves. But yeah, there's things that I worry, like, I don't know how I don't want to be Jennifer Lawrence, if I can put it that way. I don't want to Jennifer Lawrence myself. Why do all these recipes call for me? Thank you, Quill. It's all written in code. It's all codes. I have 2 kids, and let's just say I have, I may or may not have instructions. Look at this beautiful furry art. I picture that Thoric the kobold is so much smaller than everyone else, like waist high, compared to some of our taller characters. That arm is immaculate. Thank you. I love drawing. There's some things that as an artist like become your favorite. I love drawing arms, and I love drawing teeth. Like drawing a mouth with fully like rendered and realized teeth. That's why I like drawing like terrible monsters so often. Is because this is like a hero's smile. Maybe a little bit of detail, but I love getting to draw the jagged, misnomered teeth. I love that. It is therapeutic to me to do so. Now I have to figure out how to, because a kobold does have horns, and they would go right here. Because it's... I've kind of put myself in a corner here. It's eyes and torso for me. I need to get better with hair and faces and profile. Which is weird because, again, I've said this before, Stellar is an amazing artist. Genuinely and definitely one of the artists that I aspire to and that I am inspired by. I am aspire to be and am inspired by very often. And so the idea that profile is difficult for you is weird because for me, profile is like, it's cheating. It's like, I don't want to draw a full character's face, so I'll draw profile. And so it's something that I think a lot of artists would say the same, are like, oh yeah, I did that first. I did profile first. I have to squint and see what I think about that. I may have to come back to it because that's going to remove a lot of this character. But I think it also provides a concept of closeness. That the characters... Can you make Brad's expression a little more like somber, emotional? I pictured him as near tears at this moment. Good tears, but tears. Absolutely. When the concept was given to me about this, my thought was... he's happy, because for those of you who don't know, and a lot of you wouldn't, they had just come out of a huge fight where this character, Thoric, was resurrected and brought back from death saves probably 5 or 6 times. So this was a moment that we thought we were going to lose this character. And I was prepared to lose him, but not everyone felt the same way. And Bragalak, this Dragonborn, continued to save him. And so I pictured it as a sad moment, or not as a happy moment, as a you're okay. I'm so happy you're okay. But I think it seems to me more now that it's I'm out of context. We talk in D&D. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's, and Quill, you have to let me know. You're the only one who's in the character's head. Is yeah, Stern's D&D game in which I'm a player. Yeah. I foresaw it as I'm so happy you're alive. But it may have been more so the concept of like I have to prepare myself for the day that I lose you type of thing. I was imagining Thoric licking his eyeballs again during this moment. Lol. Yeah, like I tried to play it out that way, that Thoric while this was like a moment, Thoric was like, I don't understand what happened. Why are we feeling sad, you know? I am live. Why sad? Thoric is one of those characters I planned at the he was actually planned for a different campaign, that when I started creating this campaign, he made his way in, and I was like, he'll be a sad character. He'll be but the people who were playing saw that as, here's an opportunity to take in someone and help them. And I liked that. I allowed it. He was happy Thoric was alive, but it was this moment of relief. His kid nearly died, and he was only just able to protect him. Oh, for sure. For sure. It was a moment where I, as the DM, saw this innocence and was like, time to stomp it out. It was like a lesson in you can't protect forever. And my heroes said, like hell we can't. And as the DM, I liked that. It showed real, like, these are real to us. Taught Bragalok what it was to lose. Yeah. Luckily, taught him what it was to lose without losing. The best kind of lesson in loss. I guess. I'm sure that there's schools of thought on that. Not full tears. We're gonna do just the teary eye. I know Dragonborn probably don't have eyelashes, but we're gonna go for that. Just a scooch. Just a little scoob. So hot. He is a fighter. I was gonna say monk. He's not a monk. He's a druid. Right? Yeah. I know that. Why would I ask? I'm one of the people on here who knows that. There we go. Getting those dragony ears. The other thing, Stellar, that you might notice that other people may not, my pressure-sensitive tips of the pen, such as like where instead of being flat like line, it's like little to big to little based on pressure, is not working. So I have no pressure control on these. I have to manually go in and create the pressure. It's the wrong... Yeah, we're working on 4s here. And Quill, remind me, does Bragalok have horns? I want to say that he was one of those ones that doesn't. Oh, that's not good, but you're doing great regardless. Yeah, it's one of the secret powers of a... what is it? Of an artist completely gone. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go onto my portfolio for just a moment, and I'm going to grab it because I do have it in my portfolio. So I'm going to step away from Photoshop for a moment to grab it because I do have an image of the character. Yeah, I was probably way off. It tiny because I don't have the actual file, but yeah. some things that I was forgetting. One is big deal. All of this is going to be redone. All of that's going to be redone. Because he's a tough guy, he's a brute. And so he actually has a bigger chin than that. And I'm a fool, because along with that, this actually comes down. He's built like a bulldog. He's a little bit more snub-nosed. And he actually has a chin. Whereas like lizards, I know that like lizards, he's no Mambo Triceratops. You're coming in with those inside jokes there. Yeah, oh, I forgot. His eyebrows are his horns. Pregalak, the pug of Dragonborns. Yep, I remember with the initial drawings of him, I really wanted to go the way of he is built to be tough. And then it was like, hey, you know, that's our healer, right? And I was like, oh, shoot. Yeah. Whatever. These things work out. So this, there's so many layers of horns and things here that it's astounding. I know that line's not actually there. It's an allusion to that line. What layer am I supposed to... Okay, there we go. He can be both healer and avenging fire herald. He can be both, and he is both. Could really use the pressure sensitive system right now. I'm doing a lot of stuff that would be like natural, but is giving me some trouble. Okay, and then if I want to get rid of these, yeah, that's where that is. Okay. Okie dokie. We're getting there. We're figuring it out. We're Mambo number 5-ing. We're Mambo Triceratopin. Is your tablet driver up to date? I don't think it... I last time that I updated it was probably when I got the new PC, so maybe 2 weeks ago. So it's pretty up to date. It just suddenly stopped, and I think the reason is because I on my pen. If I hold it up, I'm hoping you see. I swapped out the nibs, so it has new nibs, but it fixed nothing. When I get a chance to check out the Discord in my streaming channel, I see nothing. Do you mean the other one? Oh, I see. And art could be commissioned by his favorite demo. Yeah, it is essentially furry, or what would be scaly art, I suppose. I'm saving that GIF that you're using, the Hi Daddy GIF, for something. That's actually I actually just so that we're clear, I want to use that as my future, like, hey, you've subscribed to the channel thing, is it'll play that GIF. Feels appropriate. Yeah, this is the flavor of Bragalac that I was missing. All the little stuff that makes him like the tough guy, reformed Khan that he is. Like the goatee of scales, the scales on the side, like I'm remembering, it's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back to me now. And yes, you are the problem. It's whatever, it's Twitch. People know who they are here. We know who our primary... Artists know who their primary clientele are. We see you. You are seen. Bragalac and his twink son. I will be your daddy now. Okay. Now for the musculars. The musculars. At some point I need to combine these layers, because it's gonna get real old real fast. Keep his name out your mouth. Not on my good Christian server. Musculars. I don't know at what point that I started doing this type of definition on shoulders. I don't know where the inspiration came from. I don't know where... I see it every now and then, rarely, but not enough where it's like, oh, I very clearly got it from here. I know I got it from somewhere. I'm not claiming that the shoulders being segmented into fours is my thing. It's not. It came from somewhere. I just don't remember where. I know that there's an artist at least, or artists who do this. And I have no problem with the furry community. I would draw furry commissions any day. Wonderful people. I've worked with them before. I've had my bad experiences, but I've had my good ones too. Akira Toriyama tends to do similar muscle definition. Akira Toriyama. Oh! The Dragon Ball Z guy. Yeah, he does. I like his muscle definition that he does on stuff because it's so blocky. It feels so, like, powerful. It feels strong. Like, it's not just an arm. It is a block. And I dig that. You can see I'm changing up some of this here as we go. Just because I want to make sure that he feels powerful. He was a big inspiration in my early days. Oh, yeah, same. Like, when I was first getting into drawing, I would draw on, like, the school bus every day. And kids in elementary school were very into Dragon Ball Z. So it would come up, can you draw Dragon Ball Z? I didn't know what that was. So I very quickly learned what it was. You had to. It's what everyone wanted. And so I know a lot of other people got started in that like type of community. Even my eraser, I can't do any of the pressure stuff. I don't know why. He's hunched over a lot more than that. He would be. Okay, I'll come back and grab those later. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z was a huge deal. I think I want to say that, like, my inspiration in drawing did not come from I'm gonna practice and I'm gonna get good because I want it. For me, came from people being like, "Hey, you're an okay artist," and it became my thing. And I kept on doing it. And I'm one of those people, I struggle with that term. I think it carries a lot of weight to it. And I think I've said that before. The term, like, artist. I used to never use that term because I think that it's like declaring yourself, I have decided that I am an artist. You know, it's... pretentious is the word, I think. It felt pretentious. So I even to this day struggle with it. I don't like using it to describe myself. You know. So it's something that I struggle with when people are like, "Hey, are you an artist? Are you the artist for so and so?" Like, I am the drawer of that. I drew it. Where's that layer? Don't tell me that I put that layer on the wrong... Oh, I did. Yeah, oh, beans, the wrong layer. Luckily, it's an easy fix. It's not pretentious if you actually have the talent. Yeah, but that's the thing, is like to claim that you have the talent to say like, I am, it feels pretentious. It's like if you tell people, it's like how if you tell people that you're a cop enough, they give you a gun. Someone help me. What's going on, Little Creek? What is the fastest animal comparative to its body size? Probably the peregrine falcon, I would assume. Because it's very small, but it is also like the fastest non-land animal. I think if you ask for a cop's gun enough times, they have to give it to you. Yeah, you know. As we all know, we're all educated in the law to that degree. Are you talking about like to its size as in like biggest or size as in like small? Excuse me. Because you ask like, what is the fastest animal comparative to its body size? Like I would want to say whales. I feel like that's right. Because they're huge, but also not slow. Like, they're not fast, but given their size, they're not slow. Just saw that. I want to fix it. Like, how many body lengths can it move in a second? I would say peregrine falcon. It's where falcon punch came from. They're so fast. Oh, unless we're not talking about, like, speed. Like speed on, like, how quick that they move, like, running. But, like, excuse me. The peregrine falcon can dive faster than it can fly. I want to say they're insanely fast diving down, and they actually punch creatures as they punch animals, and that's how they hunt and kill. Excuse me. Right when I run out of drink is when the cough attack comes on. But what's the other one? The mantis shrimp also would probably be in there. It's a California mite. It might be. How so is it the California Mite? Explain. .323 body length a second. Is that like a California raisin, just really small? Don't make fun of the California raisins. They are gods to us. We don't speak poorly of the California raisins round here. I forgot. Thoric has like a hook mouth. He is in all ways, except for definition, a gremlin. He's in all ways but species a gremlin. That's the wrong brush. He's in all ways but species. Classic. Haha, that's me. How do I capture the appropriate amount of idiot in his eyes while not making this a stupid picture? Like, it's meant to be heartfelt, but also have to capture the perfect level of dumbassery in this character, because he's a kobold, and he is the koboldiest of kobolds. Because you have to remember, like, when I was designing or thinking of these characters, I knew nothing about Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, Iridium! Best art ever, keep it up. Thank you so much. How are you doing? A half-eaten bug in his mouth. Perhaps. How are we doing, Iridium? I feel like it's been years. Matt, I'm okay, just lazy, got lazy to do homework. I get that. I am completely understanding on that. Oh, my car. I was talking about that earlier. So my car is in the shop because I don't take care of it as well as I should. And I got a text from the mechanic showing me a picture of him just pretty much wiggling, like just lifting my car onto the conveyor, doing nothing else to it, just like driving it in, lift it onto the conveyor, and then essentially pulling the wheel off with his bare hands. And it's like, so that could have happened to me at any time. And the reason was because he was like, I guess the story was that he said, it is this is the problem. Oh, how much to fix it? He's like, oh, it's already fixed. Because I would not test drive it. He was like, I am scared for my life to test drive this vehicle. So I just fixed it. There's no other way for me to deal with it. The Dungeons and Dragons movie has a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes. Are you serious? I am looking forward to it. It seems like a fun romp. I hear great things. But boy, do I not want to give my money to Wizards of the Coast. Let me rephrase. Boy, do I not want to give any more of my money to Wizards of the Coast. Like, it seems fun. Based on some of the stuff that I've heard and seen of, like, why did I not finish this arm? Of, like, dissections of the movie, it seems pretty faithful, but I don't want to give Wizards of the Coast any of my money. Cripes about the car dude. Who knew wheels had to be screwed on? Yeah, it just like straight up fell off. But it's fixed now. I pick it up tomorrow. Hopefully making it back in time for Cult of the Lamb stream. But yeah, it will be fixed. And I was actually talking to my father about it, because he was saying, you know, the problem is that you need to fix your vehicle. You need to take better care of fixing your vehicle the moment that they feel like they're breaking down, or the moment that they are breaking down. And I said, you know, here's the issue. I understand that I need to take care of my vehicles, but also, I just kind of tell myself, like, when I get an extra $500 or whatever, then I'll take care of it. And those times are few and far between, when I just suddenly have several $100s that I can throw at it. So I handle it very much the same way that I handle going to the doctor. If I don't go, they can't tell me anything's wrong. And then I die. And a little shot here. A little bit more dimension to the picture. The other arm might be over here. And if we put Freddy as horn. This is very much a look at the flowers moment, it feels. Ugh, my shinesses. Go. I feel that so hard, man. It's like I could give myself an anxiety attack and be out hundreds of thousands, or I could do nothing and pretend everything is okay. Everything is fine. Walking Dead reference. Actually, Walking Dead reference to a to Of Mice and Men. Walking Dead referenced Mice and Men in that quote. I get no, it was its own quote, but it was the scene itself was a reference to the look at the flowers. No, think of the bunnies. That's what it was. Was like the think of the bunnies. Tell me about the rabbits, Lenny scene. Lenny? Lenny, right? That was the name of the character in Mice and Men. Am I wrong? Can someone give me a heads up if I'm wrong on that? I know that John Malkovich played Lenny in the movie. Or whatever his name may be. I'm embarrassed to not have known that. I could very well be wrong. I know when I saw it, I thought, oh, that's a reference to Mice and Men. I could be wrong. Because in Mice and Men, spoilers, in case you haven't read Mice and Men, and really would like to. In the end of the book, and in the end of the movie, it's the same. It's that same thing as from Walking Dead, you know. Spoilers for Walking Dead. Yeah, it's the he tells him, look at the flowers, or he says, think of the rabbits. Tell me about the rabbits. And he's telling him all about the rabbits and how he's excited. And he tells him, you know, we're different than everyone else because I have you and you have me. And that's what makes us special. And as he's telling him, his kind of best friend and brother, George. It is George, because I remember the character calling him George with a very specific inflection to the voice, which I'm not going to repeat because it's offensive. But he has a very specific inflection to the voice calling him George. So I remember that. Let's take all of our sketch layers off. Or delete them, I guess. Off. Off. And that's what we got. Two dragony boys. Really happy with that, actually. Yeah, George and Lenny, I don't know which is which. Yeah, George is the straight man, and Lenny is the other one. Marvelous, thank you, my friend. Oh yeah, no problem. If anyone else has any requests, please let me know. Until I get one, I'm going to color this. If I don't get to finish it on stream, I will finish it at a later date, and I will post this to the correct channels, such as our Discord channel, which is linked down below. Hit the gold button on Twitch. That's where you'll find our Discord. We have a wonderful little community there. I post all of the art that we do on there, unless it's a commission, because some commissions they don't want posted. I always get permission to stream them, but sometimes they're for specific projects. But we have all sorts of crazy stuff on there. So much crazy art that we've been doing. And then some heartfelt art too, which has been kind of a surprise, but a welcome one at that. What is it? Quill, help me out here. A surprise, but a welcome one. Is that the term? Is that the phrase? A surprise for sure, but a welcome one. What does it say in the Star War? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a cheaty line. Surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Yeah. And I'm just going to do this so that I can cheat color. So ignore it for now. It's just so that I can grab sections. Don't. Okay, good. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do all red, and then I'm going to take out the parts that I don't need. Yeah, you got it. I got it. I know the wars. Is it really that orange? I might have grabbed a highlighted area. Let me grab a standard area. He does have, I'd forgotten because it's so, but he does have some little T-vers coming through, which I would love to add. Just kind of peeking through, you know. And it kind of mimics Thoric's teeth as well. How he's almost got the same teeth, almost the same shape, but he is just a little bit off there. I don't even imagine that he's that tall, where Bragalac would have to bend down just ever so slightly. I imagine he's probably almost lifting him up, or he's standing on something. He a little boy. He one of them little boys. Yeah, feel free to join our Discord server. I describe it as Brag kneeling to embrace him. Ah, yes. Yeah. And they are both from the same type of Dragon E family. You know what it makes me think of? I remember the scene where you guys first encountered him, and like how far that things have come. Because I think the premise was like when you first encountered him and it was revealed that he was from the Red Dragon type of family or type of lineage. Bragalac sighed. Kind of like okay, I kind of have to do this. And as time progressed, came to really appreciate Thoric. There was definitive growth of the character. You know, it went from being a chore to being appreciated, to him being appreciated and eventually becoming a member of the family. And I like that. That's right. Okay, there we go. No. Let's do a 1. Because they're not exactly... Yeah, there we go. I kind of like that. But I don't even know if you remember that, Quill, but like the first time that you guys met him and you decided to take him along with you, it was with a sigh. With a, I guess this is what has to happen. Still a chore, always a chore, but one he does willingly because it gives him meaning and purpose. Yeah. Ain't that just the idea? Ain't that just the darndest thing? Don't kids say the damnedest things? Great show. Love the host. He could do no wrong. Except for those terrible, terrible things that he did. And Thoric, I believe, still wears a burlap sack. Oh, I guess not. He has that armor of like pincushion that was gifted to him. But for this one, we're gonna do the burlap sack, because I don't know, when characters get armor, I still picture them as who they were, kind of who they are at their core. And his horns do become like a hardened brown. Oh yeah, little burlap is fine for this image. Yeah, I picture it as like, for example, we have a character who's a paladin, and he may get some great armor, he may get some like, ooh, I got this prismarine, aquatic, whatever armor. I still picture them as, you know, that character at that they were at the beginning, because I think that if you're capturing an image just for just for like posterity's sake, it's like, yeah, but I'd rather see them as what they choose as their look. Like when they first created the character and who they identified it as, I prefer that, and I want to see that. I want to see the character as they are in their perfect source. I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of like in Pokemon. Love Pokemon. I always default to it. When I think of Ash, I know that there are other shows and that time has passed and the series has evolved. I still see him in the classic like green vest, you know, and mom jeans. And so like when I see the characters and they're like, oh well, you know, aren't they wearing this type of armor now? I'm like, I always kind of default to what they look like at the start. Counterpoint: seeing a character's evolution is awesome. Exhibit A, Borin. Yeah, the character that I played had a big evolution, and I think that I'm not saying that there aren't times for that. I'm just saying, like in my head, the character. Well, I forgot that on this I did a scale texture. I think like there's times when you want to see the character's evolution, and there's times when you want to see them as they exist, like in your brain. So, for me, regardless of the armor, he will always kind of end up being that wandering classic Borin, you know? Borin classic, if you will. Alex Ross has the same mentality. You hardly ever see him painting characters on their current looks. Yeah, he does like a classic. He likes to default to the classic feel and vibe of those characters. And I get it. It, you know, it's... If you get the chance to draw Superman, and you're like, hey, you get one chance to draw Superman, are you going to take that chance to say, I'm going to draw the Superman that I know, the Superman I grew up with? Or are you going to say, I'm going to reinvent Superman? I mean, both those things could happen. You could be like, this is my opportunity to reinvent it. This is my chance. If I were given the opportunity, like, hey, we need you to draw Superman or Batman or whatever, I'd say this is my chance to draw the Superman that I know from when I was a kid. And I jump at it. Alright. What color are Thoric's eyes? Are they orange? It's been so long since I've actually looked at that character. One moment while I hop to roll 20 real quick so I can look at him. So I can look at my boy. I've got to see him. What color are his eyes? I may get someone pinging me saying, they're this, before I even notice. I want to say orange. Orange is... Yeah, they're orange, and he has a blue tongue. And I drew his horns wrong. Oh, God, I drew his horns wrong. Well, that's how they look in this drawing. I'm going to say that he kind of grew to look more like Bragalac as time went on. He kind of adopted the same, rather than like the gazelle squiggly horns, they kind of became the backwards ones. And he still has that same gazelle look. I'm not going to say he doesn't. I'm trying to cover my own ass here. Okay. Go to a lasso tool. The problem is that I think with this character, when I draw him, I actually, there's a version of him that I drew. The one that's in the game is kind of like a quick, like, I need a token for this. And then there's the one that's in my head, which is actually a character that I was going to play in a campaign that we ended up not doing for one reason or another. So I default to that version. Because I'm like, oh, right, I know what he looks like. He looks like this, and it's a different character, but it is the character that he was heavily based on. Ross's art reminds you of a simpler time without as much artifacts and cool hunting, where Soups really was a guy in a silly costume, but Ross makes it not feel realistic and seated in a certain time period. It's genius. Oh, I agree. I think, what's the show that was out and I was a massive fan of before I, for some reason or other, fell off, that came out recently? It was like The Adventures of Lois and Superman, and it, like, one of the opening scenes is talking about Superman and who he is, and like re-explaining the character to you. And I love the scene. First off, they mimic his first appearance in Action Comics, where he's stopping the car, the green car, and they mimic that, and it's like, wow, that is Superman. But then he looks down at a kid, and the kid says, like, nice costume, and it is his classic, like, Action Comics costume, and he responds by saying, thanks, my mom made it for me. And to me, that was like, that is quintessential Superman. He's a dork. He's kid from Kansas. And I like when we can, in any media, when that can be remembered. When it's remembered like, oh right, Superman isn't an all-powerful god. That's not the purpose of the character. His superpower is not that he can fly and shoot lasers out of his eyes and have ice breath and can make people forget who he is by kissing them. His power is that despite all that, he has a good heart. That's what I love about Superman. Is that despite all of the incredible, crazy power that he has, despite every reason that he has to be Zod, every reason that he has to want to, like, conquer Earth or to be treated and worshipped like a god, he instead defaults to, his humanity. That's his superpower, is that if anyone else were in that same situation, they would take advantage. His superpower is that he doesn't want to, and he has no reason to. Why am I making this color when I just checked a moment ago and saw that his tongue is blue? Yeah, his superpower is the fact that he can do what no one else can. And that's kind of the definition of a superpower. He can humble himself despite the incredible power. And that's something that's like, everyone wants to be as wealthy as Batman. Everyone wants to have the superpowers of Thor. Everyone wants to be Spider-Man. I would not want to be Superman. If you had the powers, you wouldn't be Superman. If I woke up tomorrow with all the powers of Superman, I couldn't be Superman. Because his power exists within his core, not with just the fact that he had... Sure, if I had millions of dollars and I could fly around and knew I wouldn't get hurt because I have technology to save me, I could be Batman. Anyone could be Batman. No one can be Superman. No one, I don't think anyone, maybe Stellar Avenger, but I think no one has a heart pure enough to be Superman. That's the fundamental conflict with Lex 2. Why he'll never be or beat Superman, no matter what he does. Yeah, because his whole thing is, I read it correctly by accident. He'll never be Superman. His whole deal is, there goes my pen. Watch this. If I just click. Okay, cool. I thought I was going to go nuts. Is that he so much wants... Lex's whole thing is that he so badly wants the power of Superman, but he does not, and at a fundamental level, cannot comprehend that everything that comes with it. The lamp that comes with the genie, so to speak. The powers do not make Superman, and Lex is a testament to that. He wants the power, but even with the power, he would never be Superman. Superman is an idea. Captain America is an idea. It's the other character. I couldn't be Captain America, because the whole point of Captain America is that, despite it all, he's a good man. If anyone's ever played Undertale, same type of thing. Despite it all, you're still you, is kind of the tone of that game, of that story, is despite it all, you're still you. It's a fundamental in that game. It's a fundamental point that kind of either rewards you or punishes you for your run. Because I think the other option is you get to a point in the game towards the end of the game where you look in a mirror and you'll get I believe 2 lines. One is, despite it all, you're still you, on the pacifist run, where you don't hurt anybody. And then one where you do hurt people, where you do kind of kill the bad guys and the bosses. I think it says something like, you look in the mirror and you don't recognize the person. Great game. I've played it on stream, but I've played it so many times that I don't think I'd have a good time. I don't think you'd have a good time watching me. Go. We're getting there. We got color. I'm down for it. I'm down for it. Now this is how I shade very differently and also kind of the same when I do my Dungeons & Dragons ones. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I remember how to do it. But we're going to try. rather than just like doing the cell shading and then going back and do, I actually break up sections. So like the shoulder here will be its own section, and I could even go into the brown a little bit because I'm going to remove everything but the red. Come to a softer, do a 50% strength. It's actually overlight him, I should say. And then I'm gonna do a pure hundo for the edge there. My pen! My pen! Is this the point? It's always 9. It's always like 9, 10 that the pens start dying. Grab this bicep. The juice is loose. Actually, yeah, what I normally do, like I said, I'm probably forgotten how I do this. I didn't shade that, and I should have. Is I want to grab everything. I want to grab everything, do a 50% over the whole thing. Because this side here is going to be in shadow regardless. But then it's just like, okay, but how much shadow? And I can actually go here. And I can kind of cheat it a little bit. The elbow here is going to be in 100, what I'm going to call 100% shadow. As is this, I guess I didn't have to do that because this section's also going to be 100% shadow. I can go out because I'm going to get rid of all in a moment anyway. And now let's go back up here. This. Trying to decide if I want to do 100% shadow here as well. I may as well, I'm here. Huh. Is that? Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. 100%. Back here, right there. Just imagining where some of these would be. Like I'm gonna cut out that bicep there. Pen just connecting again. Grab this. So that can remain lit a little bit more. Teach you all my secrets. Teach you all my art secrets. And then since he's lit up there, I want it more round than that. I want it more round than that. Getting pretty happy with that. I'm gonna go back and do another wash on it, but I'm happy with it. Why are you doing that? Okay. Bring us a little down. I completely forgot to remove that, but that's okay. Forgot to cut out the brown. Pen died. Yep, new tablet. New tablet. New tablet. New tablet. Just keep telling myself I'm getting the new tablet soon. The new tablet. It's in the mail. It's coming in the mail. I'll recolor that correctly in a moment. So I'm going to expand because I want to make sure I get it all, and those thick black lines, extra thick black lines that I did are going to protect me a little bit. I want to add some shine here, so we're actually going to do that, and then even though the light's coming from the top, I'm going to do a dark shine there. Cut it to 50. Bring us back. We do a little blendy. Keep that top part sharp. Give us a nice little shine. His hand's gonna kill me. Same rules apply for the part over there. That. Nope, that's the opposite. Want to cut out this, cut out that. I'm going to have to do it as individuals, aren't I? Yep. Okay, so we get that. This journey I'm fading out fast, man. I'm sorry I wanted to see it to the end, but don't think I can. Thank you for this beautiful piece. Good night. Talk to you tomorrow. I'll see you later, Quill. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for pushing for us to do this one. It's a lot of fun, and I think we've gotten a lot of mileage out of the conversation around it, so I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. You get a good night rest. I know it's late for you out there, and I'll see you soon. Do that. This will actually help me kind of define some of the muscle of the hand a little bit without having to go into like heavy line work. There's a couple things there that I'm realizing too I forgot to color, which I'll get back to soon. This part in the brown, I'm going to take some shortcuts here. I hope you don't mind. That. Come in here. Being that we're not super focusing on it, I'm not going to spend a crazy amount of time on his back. There we go. And again, this is the art request stream, so if anyone gets an idea, if anyone's like, hey, I really want to see this, let me know. I didn't anticipate we were going to get to like deeply coloring this piece, so if I need to, I will finish some other time. Do that. The other thing that I really need is I need to just set up a throne. What other thing I need to do is it'd be really nice because I do a lot of my stuff here utilizing my number pad, which is over here. So you'll actually see me drawing, and if you pay close attention, I'll reach under my arm to grab the number pad. If I can get an external number pad or a separate number pad that I can keep right here, it'll be super nice. That may be on my list of stuff that I need to grab for myself. I see a lot of streamers using Throne, and I have to wonder, like, does that work? Actually, I know it works. I was watching a stream last night after my art stream, and someone bought them something from their Throne. I was like, that's super cool. Good for them. I'm happy for them. I'm jealous for them. But super cool. So we're going to do that. Got a little bit more than I bargained for there. Let's get our dragony boy. I guess that color is just way too similar because it's not. It should be cutting that out, and it's not, which is weird. It's the wrong side. You come in here. You make me draw furry art. Let's see. I'm actually really digging this piece. I'm digging it. Gonna be honest, at first I was like, oh, you know, we'll see what we can do, simple it, and we'll do something else. But I'm really digging this piece. Except for that. I hope you guys are too. I can't believe it's Tuesday. It should be later in the week. It feels like it should be later in the week. We slipped into some kind of vortex, and I'm missing out on a weekend that's supposed to exist right now. I feel like when I was a kid, we had like almost all of February off. Like all Mondays were off, I feel like. And now that I'm an adult, I feel like am I crazy? Did that not happen? Did anyone else get like a ton of February off? Like you took off like every president's birthday that happened. You took off Martin Luther King Day. You took off like everything, right? Am I wrong? Did that not happen? I feel like it did, and it just doesn't anymore. And I'm angry about it, because I want those days off. I work hard. I put in my time. Maybe Bragalac would cast some kind of shadow here. Let's do this. Give some dimension. I always picture kobolds as having those like dog-like noses. So they are like a little bit more angular than you would think. Like for me, that's like the big difference between a kobold and a dragon. I know it probably sounds stupid saying that. Is kobolds have those like they have darker little canine noses. Okay, yeah, it's that way. Whenever I use that lasso tool like that, I always get mixed up and I end up doing the opposite one. Teeths. You ever want to shade teeth like this and you want to make it look really good, but also don't want to take a ton of time on it? I just come in and I get these, and it creates those. Just get the gum lines there. And then maybe you can come in later and get like the rest. There we go. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab these. Oh, I want to grab this actually while I'm here. Going to get these spots of color that I missed. Grab the same color here. I can't. Ugh, come on. This dang non-pressure. I'm used to having the pressure and relying on it, and it's not there anymore. You know, for the points, just be like, oh, there. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. But it's not there anymore, and I'm missing it dearly. Let's do a shortcut here and just give ourselves a little less work. Grab ourselves the darkest point of the shade so that these claws can stand out a little bit. There we go. I'm digging it. Oh, unless I'm accidentally hitting Control Z as I'm trying to move away from the keyboard. There we go. Okay, now Z for zoom. Away. I dig. I very much dig. Let's do another one there. If I do a blue. I'm going to keep it at the full shadow. And then we're going to get kind of lazy with the color. Just do a wash of shadow over the top of, a wash of light, I should say, over the top of everything here. I'm going to get rid of some where the shadow might hit it. I'm actually going to get rid of it at 5. Again, this will be a point where it would be really, really nice to have that pressure. Hey, Sentinel! How's it going? I was wondering if you were going to show up today. Glad you made it, man. I'm drawing a Dragonborn having a moment with a kobold. Accepting a kobold. Let's see here. I'm doing so with a tablet that's not giving me the best quality of life here. I just woke up a little bit. I love it. I'm trying to remember your time difference and the concept of you just waking up. Pen light will do it, right? I do just a goosh more. No, not that. I want to make this big, and I want to make it 5. It's 12:30 here. Oh, so you like woke up from like being asleep. Ah. Like being asleep for the night. I mean, like, I took a little nap and I was like, that's weird because I know that he's like, his day should be a little different. 12:30, good God. Can't even imagine. I think, should I do this arm? Oh, that's not gonna help me. Little sort of kinda, it's a whole thing, but I'm more interested in seeing art. Well, here's art! Here, art. I kinda feel like that at 100% is really strong. I also feel like I kind of want to change the color just a bit on this character. Because they're very, very, very similar in color. So let's just, rather than let's recolor everything, He's red. That's the whole deal with him. But he's not evil, so I'm a child of the 90s, so for me, red eyes means evil. We have a very simple system back then. I'm digging it. I'm a big fan. Let's give it some context here. Oh, that's actually exactly the brush I wanted. Not that one, this one. Select, modify, expand, because they took away all my shortcuts when they updated Photoshop. Yep, redoing the color is a good choice. Yeah, they just felt too red. They felt too much like they were the same. Expand another 5. I'm feeling that. What if I... do that, because I feel like it does need something, so I'm like, oh, the background will do it. The background will do it. And I'm gonna get rid of these lines. These were kind of my temp lines. That's not the right layer. Grab that, modify, expand. 1, because Photoshop took away my shortcuts. I'll never let that go. What does it look like before? Yeah, it was very, very, very too similar. I dig. And I don't know what to do now. Add some highlights? No, I'm not gonna. Kind of already added the highlights with the light coming in from above. Yeah, as Sentinel, I was talking earlier about my car being in the shop because the wheel was about to fall off. That's not a joke. That's not me hyperbolizing the whole thing. The wheel was going to fall off. The mechanic actually sent me a video of him rising the car and then shaking the wheel. So I'm going to go pick up my car tomorrow, and I'm dreading it. I noticed that you have very smooth lines. Do you do anything special, or is it you just you stray hand, a steady hand? So like, it's hard to say. I will, like, if I need to draw a smooth line, I think that I have steady hands, but it's several things. So one is just having a good... I'm not messing up this, am I? If I do this, should it give me an error? Yeah. Like, one is I'll sketch it out. Like, if I'm like, hey, I'm gonna... That's very thick. If I'm like, hey, I'm gonna sketch this out, I want to draw this character. So like, let me sketch out a character here. I'll sketch it out roughly. I just, whatever. Fun little boy. I bring that down to 1, which is typing it to say 10%, and then I'll give it some line work. I'll get really close. Like, where's the line going to go? And I'll kind of tell myself in my head, I'll make sure I have a good thickness. This line's going to go here. It's going to go from here to here, from the nose to here. And so I know where it's going to go, and I'll do that. I may not like that line. I'll draw that line a couple times until I'm satisfied. I'm pretty satisfied with that. And it's just breaking it down, so that's a nice smooth line. The other thing is, in Photoshop, you actually have this feature here, smoothing. So I'll turn the smoothing 10-20%. Right now it's at 10 because I need to get a new tablet, and I don't have the pressure sensitivity on. For some reason, this tablet just, or the pen or something, is not letting me get my pressure sensitivity going. So I have it lower. When I have good pressure sensitivity and I have a little bit more control, I'll have that pressure sensitivity set to a 20, you know, because I can be a little bit more. But it kind of smooths it out for me. If I bring this to 0, you may be able to see the difference. Like, I get some more jagged artifacting, but I still am breaking it down into those lines. Having it set to 10 is just a help. It has a little extra smoothing to it. The other thing is I like to go in and what I call verify my lines. So I'll go in and give myself some smoother lines here. I want that to be a little sharper, for example. I'll do that. Okay, I'll give that a try. I get very jagged. Yeah, just breaking up the lines, it's something that I've always done. And I'm gonna make this guy an elf. I've had art teachers tell me don't do that. And fully, like, I do a lot of stuff when I draw that I was told flat out don't do that. The thing is, if you're drawing and you're doing it because you enjoy it, who cares? So one thing, if you ever see me draw physically, like on a piece of paper, I'll often draw upside down. I don't know why. I'll have to do a stream about it sometime. I don't know why it is, but if I'm drawing on a piece of paper, I will flip the paper upside down for maybe a good 3/4 of the drawing. And I don't know why that is. It's probably because I feel more comfortable with a certain hand motion. So I'll draw it one way and then I'll flip it so I can continue drawing this way because I don't want to draw this way. That might be it. I don't know. But on tablet, I don't do that. I'm not flipping the whole tablet. I'm not flipping the canvas at all. But it's a weird thing. So I'd say finding your intricacies and doing something with them helps a lot. So let's grab this guy. I've changed my mind on a lot of this actually, so I'm gonna come here. When I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of drawing shows, and they would draw little stupid characters like this all the time. This is like, I learned how to draw by watching people draw stuff like this all the time. And it's actually nice on these streams when I get like someone's like, draw this, and I just like, oh cool, I would love to draw that in like 10 seconds and not have to think about it, you know? Yeah, and you put, yeah, well, whatever works for you. Yeah, that's the whole concept of art, isn't it? Like, whatever works, whatever you feel comfortable with. Like I said, I've had a lot of art teachers who've told me I'm doing it wrong. Hey, don't do that. Like I said, I used to turn my paper a lot. I actually had an art teacher who rubber banded my paper to the table to try to get me to stop drawing upside down because they didn't like it, because that's not how their system works. So they like punished me for enjoying drawing because I wasn't enjoying it right, I guess. I was not having fun the proper way. See, like, I drew that line a dozen times. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think it was at that point that I realized, like, it's weird because, like, as an artist, to say this feels, like, sacrilegious, but, like, that's when I realized art classes aren't real. Like, they're not worth crap, because if you care about it, you're going to figure it out on your own. I mean, sometimes they can be good, and they're valuable. I'm not going to say they're not valuable. It's just, you learn so much more from the practice than you learn from someone whose job is to tell you that you're doing it wrong. Or at least they're pretending that their job is to tell you that you're doing it wrong, you know? I'm really digging this character, this little stupid goof character that I made. I never understood it. Like, I think it's one of those things where education was like, we have to get involved. Kids love art. How can we get involved in that? How can we... Well, we got to make some rules. We got to do this and that. And it just, like... It takes so much away. I get there are kids who want to learn how to draw and they don't have the mindset of, I'll figure it out. It's prescriptivist, not always geared towards the individual. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like the individual can learn art, and other kids need a structure to it. They want to art, they want to draw, and they need a structure to it, and that's good. I don't want to... Hey, my cat's scratching my chair. They need a structure to it, and I wouldn't want to take that away from them. Absolutely not. But when you're punishing the individual who says, wow, I really have a passion for this, can I just have a little bit of freedom to explore that passion? And you're telling them, like, no. Like, that's where you have to, I think, reassess. Like, if you're the guy telling me, like, hey, you're not drawing right, I know some kids are taking this as the elective or whatever, but you're not drawing right, so we're gonna fix you because there's something wrong with you. That's where I think you need to look at it and be like, maybe we're doing this art class wrong. You know, when you're punishing kids for having fun, maybe that's the point where you look and say, like, maybe we need to reassess this. I didn't realize I'd have so much fun with this character. Goofy little spaceman. I love this little space elf. Yeah, me too. I was kind of just drawing him as a goof, just like, oh, I'll draw a stupid character just to get my point across. And I was like, I love him. He's great. Let's see. And then I want to whoop. 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 There we go. See, I don't like that line, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to redo it. Perfectly okay. Perfectly acceptable. I used to want to be an art teacher, and then I met art teachers and was like, oh, no, these people do not have fun. These people do not enjoy being here. There we go. He needs a little... by 2. Being a teacher is hard. Oh yeah, I forgot. You've been a teacher, right? Am I wrong in thinking that? I don't know where I would. I have to believe that's real. That's true. That's right. Yeah. I can't imagine. I mean, I can't imagine that it's fun, and that there are points where it's like, this is why I'm here. But I just, for me at least, I can't imagine them being enough that I'd be like, let's keep going, you know? I derive so much joy and validation from other people, and I know that that's not right. I don't like those. I know that's not right to do, but I do, and it's a shame. It's something I need to work on. But I think it'd be hard for me being in a situation where I am validating others and getting none of that back for myself, you know? It's like they say, it's a thankless job, and that's what I think would make it hard for me. I would need to hear, like, you're doing a good job to feel it. I got a little bit of time to color this guy in. Do that. I'll make this green. It's 2. Oh no, believe me, I totally get it. Okay, cool. Because I was worried that saying that, I'm like, am I coming across as a dick by saying that? By saying, like, I need validation in that, and I can't help the youth of America because I'm getting nothing out of it. Meet unnamed space pizza mascot. I recently took the career leader test along with some other stuff. Had a counseling session with one of coworkers. Validation ranked extremely high on my list. I'd like to get a link to whatever that test is that you were taking. Because, I mean, I know that it's the case. I know that validation is a big deal for me. I didn't get a lot of it growing up, and so it's something that I crave now. So I'm curious. I already know that it's going to be like, oh yeah, this dude got some problems when I take it. Ironically, the whole thing was incredibly validating. How that works? Then it sounds like you got something out of it. Like happiness, joy. Validation's hard. Finding your own validation is difficult. I don't say that as a expert. I say that as a person who struggles with it. You're probably ensuring that I'm... There we go. I'll send it, but you gotta pay for it if you're not a student. Oof. I'll take a look. What I have to lose. Ooh, almost forgot we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that yellow, just like McDonald's. Because he is fast food mascot, alien, elf thing. But I appreciate you, a Sentinel. Yeah, please send that to me. I'm getting a little tired My throat's getting a little sore, and that tells me that it is time to take a break. I appreciate you so much for being here. Everyone who came by, everyone who is taking part in being a friend of the stream. So I appreciate you, and I want you to know that. I do appreciate you coming. Like I said, validation is a big deal to me, and it, you know, thank you. And if you'd like to do this thing, I love my new favorite thing to do after stream is raiding people. I did it yesterday. We had a great time, and so if you are here, if you are gonna continue watching, gonna continue being a part of the arty community, I usually like to grab an artist that I see you streaming. We're gonna raid them. Go ahead and when you go in and we get the raid, go ahead and tell them Baba Booey from the Sternators. Give them a good Baba Booey, you know. So let's go ahead and raid. Yeah, this is someone that I was just looking at a second ago. So I'm hoping that we get a good little crew. 5 viewers are ready to raid. That's awesome. Yeah, let's raid now, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate you.